Good morning. It's about 5 o'clock, actually 6 o'clock, and I am recording this video to share a bit of a story about what I had initially talked about yesterday in around fear and how it stops us from taking things on, doing what we want to do. And the story is for me that I am super fearful of truly expressing myself, meaning to just share without reason, without need, other than to just share myself, and without having any worry of the expectation, it going a certain way or looking the way I want it to, knowing that there's a good chance that it's not going to look the way I want it to. A prime example is with my in-laws coming in from Mexico. So I've been married for 8 years to a beautiful and talented girl from Mexico who you all know. And if you don't, you're missing out. And of course, she speaks Spanish, as does her family. So for 8 years, I have been promising to speak their language. And for 8 years, I have only accumulated a base understanding and a base skill set for the language, which is fine if what I had promised was actually aligned with that. But in fact, it was to really be able to communicate with the family and be part of the family. So they come for the holidays, and you have to bear with me. I have a bit of a scratchy throat. They come for the holidays, and for 3 weeks, I am in a world where English is now second language, and it's in my home. So there is a reaction to it that I actually didn't even realize was there, because I had it that I was trying, that I was gonna make it work, and that it was too hard, that it was just not something that I can do in the moment. And so there was very little communication being done between myself and my family without someone translating. And even then, there was a missing in really being connected to the conversation. An action that I actually took is just to, well, I got to distance myself. I got to be over here while you guys are having your conversation. And feel free to include me, but it doesn't really matter, because I'm not actually part of the conversation. And I thought I was good with it. We got to a point where this assumption that I was good with it reared its ugly head and challenged me and asked me, really, is this something that you're good with? And I got really set by it. I got really triggered by it. There was an instinctual drive to want to protect myself, and as a result, not talk about it, not to myself or anybody. And I decided to take a different action. So I reached out to my main man, Vern, and had a conversation with him about what was going on. And he brought up something really interesting in the work that he's doing right now inside of his coaching, which, Scott, you are on my radar. And he is the type of guy that is super outgoing, kind of flies by the seat of his pants, as it were, is really good at connecting with people, but runs away, like literally runs away from any sort of requirement to incorporate structure and process, and planning in his life. I, on the other hand, I'm the opposite of that. So there's a lot of structure, there's a lot of planning, sometimes too much, and I look for, while I've done more of it, I'm always looking for why reaching out or connecting or putting myself out there just won't work right now. and so I won't do it. Now, the conversation was a super uncomfortable one, and it was a conversation that there was a core part of me that just did not want to have it and was fighting, like really fighting, because it was super confronting. And out of that conversation, there was an epiphany, if you will. There was this realization of just how scared I am, how petrified, how terrified I am of being in an environment where the opportunity to really express myself is present, and not only just express myself, but have something maybe not work out the way I want it to, and so I'll avoid it. I'll avoid it at all costs, and the impact is that who I say I am for others is perceived as like, yeah, but it's not really you, so it's okay. And when I got clear on that, uh, and let me be perfectly clear, I am still super petrified about it. The idea of putting this video up and sharing this is not something that I'm like super stoked about doing, but I'm doing it anyways. So it's an action that I'm taking in an effort to continue to bust through these walls, these assumptions and these constructs that I've created throughout my entire life through situations that have had me make that choice. Like, you know what? This happened when I was super young, and there ain't no bloody way I'm doing that again. And now, 30 years later, I'm looking to bust that up and really take it on and be this person that I am saying that I want to be. So, a little bit about me, and a little bit of story, a little bit of background, and a request. When I go silent, and I'm gonna go silent, I'm gonna ask that you guys reach out. Be like, dude, what's going on, man? Like, where's this guy that's supposed to be out and about and like really committed to having a voice and being known? Because that background person, David, that wants to keep me safe is gonna do everything he possibly can to prevent that from happening. Because I'm clear that I am my own, not my own worst enemy, but like the perception is, listen, I got you, man. You don't have to do that, and here's why. And I'll be totally justified and have a shit ton of reasons as to not take it on, and then it's not done, and we're safe, we're good. And on the other side of that, in really expressing who I am and what I'm up to, and there's some awesome things that are going on right now that I want to share, and I get stuck by it. That's where my breakthrough is. That, like, on the other end of that, I don't even know what's possible, and I want to get there, and I'm asking for your help. Thanks for listening.